Good morning, everyone. I am Sir Joseph, your ICT201 teacher. Welcome to Lesson 5 on Infographics. For us to continue, I'd like us to watch a short video.
Today I worry about what if all we do is sell more cars and trucks? What happens when the number of vehicles on the road doubles, triples, or even quadruples? Today there are approximately 6.8 billion people in the world, and within our lifetime that number is going to grow to about 9 billion. And at that population level, our planet will be dealing with the limits of growth. And with that growth comes some severe practical problems. One of which is our transportation system simply won't be able to deal with it. And this is going to create the kind of global gridlock that the world has never seen before. In the decades to come, 75% of the world's population will live in cities, and 50 of those cities will be of 10 million people or more. So you can see the size of the issue that we're facing. So what's going to solve this? Well, the answer isn't going to be more of the same. But very soon, we're going to see the days when cars are essentially talking to each other. So if the car ahead of me on I-94 hits traffic, it will immediately alert my car and tell my car to reroute itself to get me home in the best possible way. And these systems are being tested right now, and frankly, they're going to be ready for prime time pretty soon.
I guess we all agree that particular video is a good portrayal of information, right? Based on our previous lesson on PowerPoint presentation, we make it sure that our usage of graphics are simple, the choices of words are also appropriate for the audience that you're targeting, and that you make it captivating. And that was really a good example. Now this time around, we'll do another way of informing people, particularly nowadays that we are experiencing various situations like our pandemic on COVID-19, our difficulty in adjusting with flexi learning, particularly among the public sector. So I think it's very timely for us to inform people, and not just to inform them, but to inform them effectively through the use of different platforms. And for today, we will have infographics. Now we ask ourselves, how do we use infographic to present a data that we have? When I refer to data, it doesn't have to be always like numbers. Something that you know about and are cited well could be a data that you can share to people for them to be educated and informed. For today, the objectives are as follows. We'd like to target learning the principles of visual message design using infographics, and later on apply it. As much as possible, I'd like you to create your own infographic the best way that you can. So another question would be to start on the definition. What is an infographic? You see there are two words, information and graphic. So basically, we portray information using the best graphics that we know of in a simpler and effective way. There are certain elements we have to remember, and the video showed us a lot of it. Though it wasn't printed material, it has the following elements in it. Number one, data. It was prevalent in the video when he showed percentages about our population and the existing number of cars that we have as of today. Next would be design. So it's important that you select a very good design so that your infographic will look appealing to the audience. And then it should have story. It doesn't have to be the story that you're thinking. It's not a narrative, but when we refer to story, it has to move from the different elements that you have on top going down. It's not just about putting graphics without any movement at all. There should be a smooth movement in it. And then lastly, shareability. Creating infographic nowadays is easier. We have existing applications online which are for free, like PictoChart and Canva. In a way, we have existing templates where you just have to edit it. But if you want to create one, that will be a lot of work, but much better. So I'd like to show you an example of an infographic of how to make an infographic by Michael Greenberg. Now, you see, I don't have to use my way of doing my presentation to inform you about the steps, but looking into it, we can just use an example for our steps. First, get an idea. Now, I think I don't have to explain much about that. If there's no idea, then there's no infographic, basically. Step 2, sketch it out. Sketch lang muna. It's like a backbone of your printed material. Lastly, a third, you collect the data. And then once you collect the data, we connect it on our second lesson, which is on citing sources. Develop proof of concepts. Where did this came from? Is it from a vlog or a blog? Or is it from a legal government site or whatsoever? And then step 5, lay it out and have fun. Basically, it's like an art. These are the various types of infographic. First, we have visual article. An example is this one. So I think you're familiar with pi. When we hear pi, all we know is just it's equivalent to approximately 3.14. But there's more to pi than just 3.14. So in order for us to portray the idea of pi, we show it in this particular infographic. There is still more to it, to pi, in that particular infographic. Another one is this one. So that's visual article. Next one, we have timeline infographic. I think this is also relevant to most of us nowadays. Here's the second one. So chronological outline of events. Oh, by the way, I'd like to emphasize the benefit of doing a timeline infographic. If this has been done in our younger days, we could have been familiar with important dates and significant people a lot much easier if we have known of infographic, right? You agree? Then we have the third one, flowchart. So this is what I meant a while ago, that certain organizations, government organizations, are already utilizing infographic through a flowchart. Yeah, it's nice to look at this kind of information rather than reading them on newsprints and printed materials that are quite long to read. And then we have cheat sheet. What is cheat sheet, by the way? I think you have seen of this kind of examples. These are quick step infographics. An example of this one would be on 5 steps in cooking on no-bake cheesecake, something like that. Okay, so that's an example of a cheat sheet. And if you share it, it's kind of interesting rather than looking at the menu and the procedures on how to create a cheesecake, right? Comparison. And then that one, Amazon versus Netflix. I think I don't have to elaborate on comparison. Then numerical. You might wonder, sir, this is somewhat like related to the previous one, which is on visualization, visual graphics. But this is kind of focusing more on the percentages and the numbers. It's literal, numerical. Then we have photo infographic. So the best portrayal of this would be in sciences. Then we have data visualization. No? Rather than giving them a news article of the different surveys you've had or an organization have had, better show it on an infographic. Now, there are certain milestones on the use of infographics. One of which is that the New York Times Learning Network blog offers suggestions for teaching with infographics. Pwede di ay, no? It can be done. We can do teaching through infographics. Then, Bill Gates was moved to donate a certain amount to eradicate malaria just because he has seen an infographic from the New York Times magazine. Then you also have from the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics, that recommended that it's best to show what students have learned through infographics. And then the word infographic was added in the Oxford English Dictionary year 2011. So these milestones are taken from in the International Society for Technology in Education 2012. So we also have, if you think you kind of want to visit the people site, we have gurus like Edward Tufte, Nathan Yao, David McCandless, and Hans Rosling. Before creating your infographics later, you might want to visit it first. For our activity, I'd like you to go to canva.com. I understand some of you have had experiences of doing graphic materials on different sites, but for now, we'll focus on Canva. Create one infographic with the topic cyber safety and security. Let's test your creativity. Kinsa kaya ang mas nice o portrayal of information with this kind of topic. So you're free to choose whatever type of infographic you want. Just make sure that it's in JPEG format. Please locate the instructions on this particular task through the assignments tab and using the file name you see on your screens. Now, to guide you and to somehow inspire you, these are some sample outputs we've had from the previous semesters. Let me show them. That one, another one. So we also have, so in terms of scaling, you're free to have whatever size you want. Just make it sure that the information you really want to portray are inside. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So again, your activity should be in JPEG format and submitted in the assignments tab with the file name you see on your screens. So far, are there questions? So I guess there's none. So thank you for listening and God bless you all. Goodbye.